At some point, the world of tokusatsu has become so irate as recently because of Super Sentai ending and the Power Rangers of 30 years is ending for the complete reboot. Everybody is still talking about the issues with Hasbro, Bandai, Toei, and Saban is the why things are ending the way they are. It's just a crazy time to be a Power Rangers fan, but for the most part, everybody is still, well, they're still talking about what happened back in 2018 when Saban sold all rights to Power Rangers to Hasbro. And yeah, it's a crazy time. So I saw this tweet. Why did it says we found the truth of the death of Super Sentai and it's Hasbro. So we're just playing the blame game here. I don't think it's Hasbro. I think it's everyone behind the situation's fault. Toei, Saban, Hasbro, Bandai of America, and Japan. They all played a huge role in this situation. It's why tokusatsu superhero shows are at a dead end right now. However, in 2018, Hasbro, a major American toy manufacturer, brought the malfunctioning rights for the toys outside of Japan and parts of Asia, causing Bandai Namco to lose a significant amount of sales of Power Rangers related toys. This incident triggered a sudden halving of sales, leading to the current situation of being the only one to lose out. Incidentally, according to Bandai Namco financial statements for 2017, before the rights were acquired by Hasbro, worldwide sales of Super Sentai toys, including Power Rangers, tolerated 21 billion yen for the year. Domestic sales, all one, were 8.8 billion yen, which was on par with the current sales levels of Kamen Rider and Ultraman. It seems that the fact that the American company took away all rights, including toys, was a fatal event that set apart from the other superhero works. Mr. Tang continues by pointing it out. We are currently working on simulations worldwide on distribution of the Kamen Rider series, and it's expected that we will begin to fully develop overseas markets from now on. Ultraman has also become increasingly popular in China in recent years and is beginning to develop overseas markets. Now, the interesting part about this whole thing from the article, I don't know where you get it from, but I'll probably link it. But it just seems like everybody is pretty much blaming Hasbro of how Super Sentai ended and how Power Rangers is the way it is now. But we're not really focusing on what really happened, because Bandai of America gave up on Power Rangers back in 2017 when they were doing the Legacy figure line. And who can forget about the infamous Gold Ranger, which I could call it Butterscotch Gold Ranger. And if you see the toys, if you've seen Mr. Winnie Productions, shout outs to him. If you see his video, I think you'll know why Bandai pretty much stopped doing Power Rangers. They had a good run during the 2010s, but it just seems like you could tell they were on the way out anyway. And that's why Hasbro took over the rights and then toy licensing for Power Rangers when they came out with the Lightning Collection. It started off strong, but when the 2020s rolled around, you could tell they were pretty much diving down the wrong path as far as like issues with the paint jobs and missing body parts being exposed to the bad packaging, stuff like that. And that's why they ended up giving up in 2023 due to financial issues. And now they're going to come back in 2027 or 2026, focusing on the Power Rangers reboot with the toy sales and everything. So yeah, a lot of people be forgetting the issues and the difficulties surrounding these IPs, when it comes to the financial structure, it's hard to maintain that fire when you feel like at a point you just want to give up. You had no choice. Sell every property in order to get that money back. Then you can find a way to bring back the toys and bring it to life. It's like people have different business strategies of overcoming trials and tribulations, especially when it comes to toy companies and stuff like that, right? But this isn't the only one that I saw. And yeah, this other part of the article makes a lot of sense. Not the article, but the tweet. And shout out to this content creator, Chris, for this interesting information. It's an important note to add to this. I was told by former Bandai people that Bandai was offered Power Rangers before Hasbro, and that Bandai declined it. We find out from the execs at the other toy companies as early as summer of 2017 that Bandai was on the way out with Power Rangers, as I mentioned before. Because I have no idea that Bandai was pretty much offered, I think, like a different contract or something like that, just to keep the ball rolling. But they just said, screw it, we don't want nothing to do with Power Rangers anymore, we're done, we just don't care, we don't want it. And that's why they went out sad with the Gold Ranger, and you pretty much seen how terrible it looked. Not like you could customize painting yourself to make it look more accurate, right? I mean, you could always repaint it yourself. I don't know. But I kind of find this part to be really interesting because since they declined it, they wanted to focus on Bandai of Japan, which they are continuously doing very well right now. But it's unfortunate that due to toy sales being that bad when it comes to Ghost Juger, I think it's pretty obvious to me that they decided to cancel it because of the low toy sales. It had nothing to do with Hasbro. So I don't know where everybody is getting this crap from. Yes, sometimes Hasbro messed up on certain things, but that doesn't mean that they killed Super Sentai. Like, why is we blaming an American company when it was Bandai of Japan and Toei of Japan decided to cancel it in order to bring back Metal Hero series? They stopped Super Sentai for a reason. For now, there's a reason they did that. Granted, it wasn't explicitly stated, but implied via whispers and Vogue private comments. I don't believe I got a concrete confirmation that Bandai was done with PR and it was going to Hasbro till a few days before Toy Fair 2018. So all of this happened before they started doing the Lightning Collection, as we've seen the first look of the White Ranger and the first wave of the Lightning Collection, which, like I said, it started off pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. But as times went on, you can kind of see it kind of went on a slippery slope as far as like downhill from there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, about that article, that's pretty old. That's like from 2018, so yeah. They goes on to saying, yes, I got my behind chewed for the story, both from our own boss as well as from Saban. But hey, they played favorites, so I said, F it. Now you can't ignore us. They can't. I mean, the obvious, you know what I'm saying? Look, back when Saban held Power Rangers from 2010 to 2018, you can kind of see the franchise was going in a different direction and it was not good. That's why it's called the Neo Saban era for a terrible reason, because of how bad the acting was and them reusing Go-Go Power Rangers, reusing Mighty Morphin storylines instead of using their own original ideas, which could have worked for the most part. Hell, even Hector David Jr., before he crashed out, said that Samurai was going to be a mature show, that it was going to be more darker, it was going to be more serialized. And I can honestly imagine Kevin's actor would have had better acting scripts and a better acting director, instead of having him acting like he's whispering to kids and the way he's talking like he just woke up from a nap or something. Like, I don't like that acting one bit, you know. But what we got from Samurai was a completely trash. You know what I'm saying? And I could go on and on about the dark history of the Neo Saban era with some harsh full truths and opinions, but you kind of need to hear it, and it's true. But that's a separate video for another time. And the comments pretty much agreed, some are disagreeing, you know. Yeah, someone says, as much as I want to say that Bandai dropped the ball hard time, the fact that some incidentally was an issue for as long as, okay, this grammar is pretty bad. But I get what he's saying, but it's a bit off to me. That's why I don't like reading people's comments. He says, I mean, you all saw how poorly those 2017 movie toy sells. Yeah, and so did the movie. And how their items were shelf warming, and how they had almost 100% turnover from 2016. No way in the world could they have managed the entire brand. They struggle at the end just doing toys. Sounds like Toei of Japan. You know, that's why do you think they aimed it with Ryu Soldier, Go Juju? You know, nothing about the show really excites me except the first episode and the Sixth Ranger introduction. But the way things went on with Maya's actress for the original Goju Unicorn, the way they treated her, the way they embarrassed her, was the icing on the cake for me and for everybody, you know. And for the most part, that's why the show is not really that exciting anymore, you know, to say the least. And I don't know how the toy sales did, but based on how the toys look, I can tell they're not really that good looking either. It's just SH figure arts that I've seen most of the time. I mean, unless they want to take a break from making toys and just focus on making shows and making it good, then yeah, you could probably just make toys based off of that. Which is why we're getting a new Metal Hero series coming out in 2026. Then maybe you could make toys based off of that. And then I guess the legacy of nerds is sweet. And yeah, let's go ahead and read this one. Hasbro buying Power Rangers in 2018 was a factor to cause Super Sentai being canceled. Live Door News from Japan reports that the 2018 sale of Power Rangers to Hasbro cut into profits Toei and Bandai received from the toy sales that led to Super Sentai cancellation. So basically, Bandai was at fault for how the show got canceled. But here's the crazy part. Toei lost a huge amount of revenue in toy sales when Hasbro took over the toy rights from Bandai, which they are shareholders. According to the 2017 financial results of Bandai Namco before the rights were acquired by Hasbro, the worldwide sales of Super Sentai and Power Rangers toys were 21 billion yen for the full year, with only 8.1 billion yen earned in Japan. Yikes. So, like I said, I don't think Saban, Sony, and Power Rangers, the Hasbro, was the result of them canceling Super Sentai. Bandai and Toei did that themselves. So let's not blame Hasbro for everything when, like I said, they're not the best company, they're not perfect, but at least they're trying something different. But that doesn't mean that they're responsible for how Super Sentai ended. So, yeah. Even though some writer probably chime in on this, so we're going to probably react to these videos later on. But, yeah, it's so many, 3 different informations that I found, from Chris to the person who said that he found the reason why Super Sentai cancellation was canceled because of Hasbro, and Legacy of Nerds. So we got like 3 different informations that we cover on this channel. I just want to say this though, regardless of what happened with Tokusatsu, if this new Metal Hero series does well in Japan, then yes, I say continue on. If this Power Rangers reboot does well in America, then continue on. If it does well, then make new Power Ranger shows. Instead of being stuck with one season, you can just do what Super Sentai did. Come out with different seasons, different characters, but make sure the story is unique. Like, take the Showa era for example. Showa era of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Metal Hero series were really, really dark. And if the Power Rangers reboot could be just like that, then boom, Tokusatsu is back. But only time will tell if that happens. So, what are your thoughts on this, man? Down below.